Hello. This is Ann Obi, Capricorntigress of Astrology, a look inside, coming to you, Leos for the month of March 2019. Happy March to you, Leo. So I want to quickly go into this. Because I'm trying to not make them so long. For some reason, I can ramble and go half an hour or more, and I'm trying to stay away from that. So let's go quickly into what I see here. And the first thing I want to discuss is the fact that in the beginning of the month, Mercury is going to be going retrograde in Pisces. And that's going to affect a lot of people, regardless of what sign you are. For you, that is falling in your like your natural eighth house, your solar eighth house. This would be as if you were, your sun, or if you had Leo rising. And this would put emphasis in the area of possessions and wealth and money, but it's really the money that's coming from other people or from partners or from investments or inheritances or money due to you from others. It could be your partner's money, not necessarily yours, because that's more the second house. We're dealing with money that is supposed to come to you from an outside source. And really, the entire month, the emphasis is going to be on outside sources. Yeah, in general, because most of the emphasis is going to be on the other side of your chart, on the on the other side of the horizon. And a lot of it's going to be above the horizon too. So it's going to, I can see that the month really for you Leos is going to be concentrated a lot on you, on others, and also your career, what other people see. I think that's going to be pretty visible. I've talked to you guys about that fifth house Jupiter several times. It's still in the fifth house, so that's there. And also Saturn and Pluto in the sixth house. I've had several conversations with you Leos about Saturn in the sixth house, and it's still there. So, I don't need to go into that. Now, one of the things that did change or will change in March is that Venus is going to be in the seventh house. And I just got like, when the moon is in the seventh house. This is Venus. Venus is a very pleasant planet. It's a planet of love. So, and it's in the area of partners. And Jupiter is in the area of love and romance. And I don't even dare say what's going on in the eighth house. Like, Lord, there is somebody falling in love that is got Leo rising or Leo influence, because this is a lot of other here. I'm coughing. I'm going to take a sip of tea, and I want to make sure I'm saying what I need to say. I might come back to that Venus, though. And I'm still worried about that Saturn. Whoa. But I need to go back to the 8th. Okay, so what's going on here? There is a lot of emphasis in the 8th house. I mean, I was pulling away from it, but I'm not supposed to, I don't think. There's going to be the sun and the moon in the 8th house, okay? And that means there's going to be a new moon in the 8th house. And this is going to happen on the 6th of March. And so when this happens, it's going to really put a lot of emphasis on new emphasis, like your whole life. Well, not your whole life, but at least for the next few weeks, you're going to have a big emphasis on that 8th house. That 8th house is like sex and death and money and taxes and like inheritances and insurances. And like I said, your partner's money. It could be where legal documents, because it's important kind of papers and things that have to do with money, annuities, child support, all of that falls in the 8th house. Also things like this thing is getting on my nerves. I'm sorry, y'all. Lord have mercy. Anyway, things like I like therapists, psychologists. I would think any kind of healing that you do in the month of March is good. Like if you go to do Reiki, that would be great. Like energy healing. Energy healing, really good for Leo. Energy healing. I could see you guys might do that, like Reiki healing. Just something really deep and spiritual is really important, I think, for you guys right now. With that new moon there, that's going to be a few weeks of that emphasis in your life. And the crazy thing is that the new moon with the sun and the moon are going to be conjoined Neptune. So it's going to be that really otherworldly, woo-woo-y feeling anyway. So you might want to get into something different all of a sudden, like yoga class or Reiki classes, or you might find that you're getting into some deep metaphysical things. And that's incredible. Um, because the sun is going to be there until the 20th. And speaking of the 20th, now the new moon is on March 6th, but the full moon is on March 20th. And that's going to actually be falling. And maybe this is why I've been coughing. I'm supposed to tell you guys this, that the full moon is going to be happening in your third house. That's your third house of communications. And so Libra is going to have a full moon there. It's going to be at 0.09 degrees of Libra. That's going to be on the 20th of March. And the thing is, opposing it, the sun is going to be in Aries at 0.9 of Aries. So that's the ninth house. And definitely communication issues there. So be cautious of that. I mean, especially with Chiron, the wounded healer in the ninth house, and it's just gotten into it. It's probably going to make some weird opposition to that full moon in the early degrees of Libra. You need to be aware of that because you might say something or have like some belief system that rubs somebody the wrong way. Warned a couple of people about that, but really take that serious with Chiron there. It could just be that you've got some healing to do with that area. Like with the religion and believing in a higher power or something greater than yourself or any of that kind of dogma. You might be looking at the things that you've believed in and the dogma that you believed in. You might find that you no longer believe in the dogma that you used to believe in. And so you might be changing that. It's time to heal it because that's what Chiron does. It heals wherever it goes. And in your case, it's in the ninth house of dogma and religion and philosophy and how you feel about life. And travel, it could be travel. Maybe you want to travel, but for some reason you can't seem to get to travel the way you want to. That could be a problem. I could see that really causing an issue for you because it's where you're healing something. If you've had fears about, let's say, fear of flying, this would maybe be a good time to heal that. I mean, it's a wounded healer. Yes, it's wounded, but it's healing. It's all about healing. That's what the whole transit is about, healing the area that it's in. Now, the ninth house is also the house of like education, higher education. So if you're someone who feels that you've not been properly educated and that you don't have a degree or you don't have what you need to get the work that you want or to move ahead in the career of your choice, well, use this time to go and pursue it. The only problem I see with pursuing something like that when Chiron is there is that, it's the wounded healer. It's like, even if you do succeed, it's going to be like a really long, drawn out, painful, most likely tearful experience. And I mean, I just foresee tears. That's because it's cleaning out garbage. That's what it is. It's healing wounds. So it's up to you how you heal that. I would say if you are experiencing any kind of pain that you feel that you can't heal on your own, definitely reach out to like clergy if you're religious, or someone, like myself. I'm an astrologer that might be able to help you. It may not be exactly as you would get with a therapist or something, but it might be enough to help you to establish some kind of firm foundation with your belief system or your philosophy or something you can grab onto. In my case, I just show people their own life blueprint. That's all I do, because we're all born for a reason. We were all put on this earth to do certain things. And a lot of people don't believe that, but we're born with certain things that are inherent to us. And not everyone else has those things. They come because you were born on that day, or that's because that's who you are. And that's what makes astrology astrology. That's what makes it work. A lot of people forget that aspect of it. It's all about when you were born, exactly. So one of the other things I want to talk to you about is that 10,000. I guess that's something I really got to talk about, because you've got Uranus and Mars that are going to be up there in that Taurus area. And Mars is getting into Taurus for the first time. It goes in on the 6th as well. Uranus goes into Taurus on the 6th. And so, wow. I mean, basically, you're going to have Uranus on your, like, the natural midheaven on the MC. I would be really super cautious in my career. I mean, really. And watch your P's and Q's. Because the Mars is there, and the urge to say more and do more and be more is there, because Mars is there. And it's in Taurus. It's going to want to see tangible results. So it may get a little competitive. It may get aggressive. I don't know how it'll manifest. It's Mars. Mars in and of itself is aggressive. You combine that with the stubbornness of Taurus, right? And here's the thing. The work is already a little bit hard because Saturn is in the 6th house, and the work is already a little bit looked upon, or maybe even frowned upon by, I would say, some of your coworkers and peers. You've got jealousy at the workplace. Pluto's there. That's a sign of power plays, power structures, and political, things. That's enemies at work. Now you got Venus in the 7th house, so that should be schmoozing things over with enemies this month. But just know, with Mars in the 10th house, that always shows some form of aggressiveness. If not you, it could be your boss toward you. So please be aware of this with Uranus in the 10th house. I mean, I don't want to wish this on anyone, but I just keep thinking someone's going to walk in and they're going to be going, I'm so sorry we had to let everyone go. Or I'm so sorry, we had to let you go. Or we didn't make enough for you in this, or this is not profitable, or something. So I hope that you guys are working hard at your job and enduring whatever painful transit Saturn's making to the 6th house in Capricorn. I mean, it should be creative. And if you use that Saturn well with that creativity, it's a natural in conjunct to Leo. And I'm really hoping that you use that creativity. And let me tell you when you're going to be able to really use creativity is after the 30th of March. And the reason for that is on the 31st of March, Mars goes into the Gemini. When Mars goes into Gemini, it's going to go into your 11th house of hopes and dreams and wishes. But then it also goes into like a possible in conjunct formation. You'll be able to do that, I think, with the Capricorn, which is your 6th house. You need some type of creativity. I think between your Leo sun and that Mars, there would be a natural yod made during the month of April. And I would take advantage of that in April if I were you. Anyway, just be cautious of that Mars in the 10th house while it's still in Taurus. Also, one last thing I'll leave you with is about that North Node, because the North Node is in the 12th house. It's in the sign of Cancer. And the North Node is making you aware of things well, you might not normally want to be aware of. They might be things you don't like thinking about. They are the things you don't like thinking about. It's the 12th house. No one likes thinking about things in the 12th house. That's where we stack all our crap. We put it in there and leave it there until we're ready to look at it again. But now you're being forced to look at it. You're being forced to look at all of it and probably clean out the house altogether. The North Node is there. So it's going to make you master the 12th house. That's your task for 2019. Isn't that lovely, right? But the ninth house can be cool. I mean, one thing I would say is be careful of drinking too much, doing too many drugs, just overdoing it, doing anything that would be like, they call it a self-undoing. You're like having sex behind your partner's back and cheating and being jealous or plotting someone's demise or all those stupid stuff that usually end people up in jail and prison. The 12th house is known for jail and prison. Do not forget that. If you got a criminal record and you've got any kind of Leo, you better be on your P's and Q's while the North Node is in the 12th house. And Saturn's sitting opposing it in the 6th house and Pluto's opposing the 12th house. You better be on your best behavior. Some of y'all ain't been on your best behavior. And the North Node is in the 12th house to remind you to do so. And to hopefully keep you out of prison. Lord, goodness. And not drink too much and party too much and do too many drugs. Because that, Cancer is a water sign, isn't it? It likes to party. It likes to drink. And it's in the 12th house. And so now with the North Node there, you got to heal this area. And you got to master it. You're going to master it. This is what you need to learn now. So, the emphasis is going to be there. You're going to be learning a lot about that 12th house. That's your mission right now. And I just want to go back one last time to Venus in the 7th house, as I mentioned the last time. It is going to be in the sign of Aquarius. It is your natural 7th house. And I just want to mention it once again because that full moon that happens in Libra with the sun in Aries opposing it, well, it sets up a natural opposition, like a first seven type of flavor to the whole month, really. And so I want you to be aware that with Venus in the 7th house, that love is the issue. Love is at play here. And I hope that you guys spend time improving your relationships, whoever your significant other is. Show that person that you love them. Give them the time and affection and attention that they need and they deserve. Mars is in the 10th house. It shows you're fiery and passionate. So hopefully you'll be fiery and passionate toward your love partner. You got Jupiter in the 5th house. I just keep getting great love vibes. And hell, all that 8th house emphasis, cloak and dagger stuff could just be a hell of a lot of sex. Anyway, I'm going to leave it on that note. My mind always goes back to the same place, just shows. Oh, Leo, I hope that you like and share and subscribe to my YouTube channel and my videos here on YouTube. And I love you, Leos. And so I do hope that you do that. And also be sure to go by my website, which is astrologyalookinside.com, and subscribe to my blog there. I don't blog as much as I should, but I'm going to try to do that. And then you can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com /astrologyalookinside. And I also give away mini readings at facebook.com/groups/astrologylookinside. Okay, you guys, much love and much light to you all. And may you have a wonderful March of 2019. Bye now.